Hey, what's up YouTube? Evan Starr here. I'm actually out here in Las Vegas right now, and well, the topic kind of came up over the past day or so with regards to the SoCal Malifaux live show, and there was some confusion about what was the show really, why did we make this show, what's it about, what are the goals of this show, and what's the process of wanting to be a panelist or wanting to ask questions on the show. So I thought I would cover that really briefly. I'm trying to shoot this whole thing from the hotel room, and I don't really have anything Malifaux related to show you because this is where I'm at. Anyway, I hope the sound is coming in okay, but let's get going. So the show really started as sort of Google Plus meetup or Google Plus Hangouts where members of our club were getting together and painting. And while we were painting, we would often discuss Malifaux topics, Malifaux-related topics, or club-related topics. And, I didn't really even think about it much as a show until one day I found out that there's this little checkbox that you can select to allow the Hangouts on air. And I kind of did one as an experiment, and lo and behold, Mario hopped onto that, and we discussed a little bit of Malifaux and a little bit about the club, and it just ended up on my YouTube, and a couple of people mentioned that they kind of liked that, and so what we started to do is my brother and I formulate a show around that, and the show was called SoCal Malifaux Live. What are some of the things that we were looking for out of our show? Well, to be honest with you, like all of our YouTube endeavors, the show is about stuff that we want to see, maybe stuff that isn't being covered by YouTube. Now, as you know, with the miniature gaming hobby, there's a lot of really good information on YouTube regarding hobby, regarding other games, but not much in terms of Malifaux. And also not much in terms of kind of psychological, sociological aspects of gaming. My brother does have some videos that he's put up over the years that I thought were really good, but have never really been open for discussion within our club. And so, we thought that, hey, let's put together a show like that where it's not really a professional, Q&A type show. It's more of just like a bunch of gamers that get together and we talk about some things that maybe we haven't seen on YouTube and some stuff that honestly we want to talk about. And I hate to put it that way, but that's kind of our goal. We're not trying to make a production level show, and in fact, it's great that some people watch it, a few people watch it, but ultimately, this is about us, it's about our club. And whatever kind of information you, the viewer, might get out of it is fine, and it's great, and we appreciate you coming on and watching us. But I don't think we would ever get to the point where we're trying to make a production level show, a high quality show, or for that matter, we're not trying to duplicate what's already on YouTube. This is a very personal experience for me and for our club, for my brother. And this is just stuff that we would talk about, even if we didn't hit the record button. So that's really the goal. The goal really isn't to drive up subs or anything like that. Nor is the goal to become like the official amazing sponsored something of whatever. It's never been the goal of the channel. Will never be the goal of the show. So the show is going to be kind of raw, and the show is going to continue on topics that honestly we like to talk about. But that said, I would like to point out that there are features wherein a viewer can change what we're talking about on the show. Now, we know that viewers hopping on may not be experienced in Malifaux and may be hopping on to ask questions, and that's something that happened somewhat regularly on Google+. I'd be painting, people would hop on and ask our group some questions about either Malifaux or about painting or whatever, and that is fine. In fact, that is one of the other purposes of the show. Now, the show and its topics will continue to go through the panel and all of that until at some point viewers start to take control of the show and they start asking us informational questions. Now, that is where our live show can really be taken advantage of. We can stop what we're talking about to answer Malifaux questions, to answer specific model minion rules questions. That's one of the things that we can do. We can offer the two people watching our show. And in fact, I think, the balance of having a show topic and having Q&A always available to kind of take over the show is something that we hope that our two viewers can really take advantage of. So that said, let's talk about being a panelist on the show. Now, if you want to be a panelist on the show, I will tell you right now, our show is not about self-promotion, and it's not about hamming it up. It's not about trying to be internet famous. I mean, you guys never see my face on this channel, and that's on purpose. If anything, I would prefer that the SoCal Malifaux name is much more famous than mine, much more famous than my brother's, much more famous than Jake. That's really where it should be. The focus should be the club. It's not the personalities behind the club. It's nice to know about the personalities behind the club, but that's not our goal. And if your goal on our show is to kind of get on and ham it up and, smile and not contribute anything different, then I'm sorry, but you can't be on the show. If your goal on this show is to come on and try to present yourself as a nice guy or a fun guy, you know what, we can see that on any other show. This show is about honesty, and if I tell people, hey, I was a douchebag when I played 40K, that's totally true, and that's the raw, real aspect that we're trying to capture with the show. That's why it's all uncut edges. That's why it's we don't try to do anything fancy with the show itself, and ultimately, the show may not net us any subscribers. That's fine. Again, this is for our entertainment, this is for our club, and this is for our purposes. And there is some great freedom and some great honesty to that. Because we don't have to try to promote particular products or anything like that. Now, we are weird semi-representatives in that we're henchmen, but we're not making any money off of these videos, and we never plan to. I make a little money off monetizing my channel, but it's really next to nothing. It's just there so that there's a little bit of extra pocket change from my expenditures. And as you can tell from the production quality of my channel and my show, there's not a whole lot of money being put into it, and that's what we're looking at. So if you're going to be a panelist on the show, be prepared. Be prepared to speak to the topics that are going to be presented. They're voted on our Facebook. These are not topics that you'll see on every show or every podcast. These are very different approach to gaming, to hobby, to gaming clubs, and so forth. And if you're just there to give some generic canned answer, you're not doing us any favors on the show, and you're definitely not there to promote yourself. So be prepared with the topic. We're also going to be a little more selective with who our panelists are, because we want folks that represent different aspects, different regions of the spectrum, if you will, for whatever question that we're asking. So we may target, for some shows, we may target painters, we may target retailers even, we might even target developers or henchmen, or and the average Joe, the new player, the competitive player, the casual player. There's going to be a time where a show topic is good for you, and you don't want to be dead weight on some other topic where you really can't contribute when there's a great show coming up for you. So the thing that I love about the show is that it's a show that everybody in the club wants to be in, but nobody wants to watch. And nobody that's making a show for money or for promotion or anything like that wants that situation. I personally think it's kind of awesome, because people want to be on the show and talk to their club and talk to our friends and so forth. That's really where it should be. But again, with the management of our topics and with the 90-minute cap that we try to put on the show, you may not be invited to every show. And I hate to try to sound mean or anything like that, but that's the reality. We are looking for people that have a little bit of charisma, that can give us unique perspectives, whether or not we agree with them. In fact, it might be good to have folks that we don't agree with on the show. But the show was never meant to be kind of the other stuff that you see on YouTube, the informational stuff. That's all going to be handled by Q&A. So if you guys want the show to really be informational, guess what? You're not going to want to be on the panel. You're going to want to be on. You're going to want to be in the chat. You're going to want to be asking questions, because that's when we get into the informational side. Otherwise, think about it like just a bunch of guys hanging out at a game store or hanging out in my living room talking about stuff that's important to us. So that's really the cap of the show. More than willing to answer any questions about the show, or your status on the show, or how you'd like to contribute. More than happy to do that. Once again, very grateful for everybody that's hopped on the show and contributed. Also grateful to our viewers that have asked us some questions. Once again, I love that this show is kind of a well-kept secret that people can stumble on and really enjoy. So I really have spent too much time rambling, and you guys are probably tired of looking at my hotel desk. So I'm going to stop here, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Thank you.